find out I was gay until I was 33. Yeah, you heard that right. I was 33 when I found out I was gay. Welcome to Will It Blend. My name is Will. On our channel, we're going to talk about all things makeup, parenting, being gay, and navigating life with all of those things blended up. Fresh skin, light contour, and the illusion that you just got 8 hours sleep even though you had kids. Yeah, that fresh boy beat always starts off with a nice primer. I'm choosing to use a Makeup Forever primer that I got from Sephora. It is my favorite primer by far. I definitely recommend you pick some up if you have the ability to. It does wonders for my face. I think it does a great job at creating a soft palette, hydrates the skin, and makes everything very nice and even. A nice and even texture for my makeup to get onto, whether I'm doing a nice day face for work or if I'm getting ready to go out like I am today for this really nice boy beat. Today we're going to be blending some concealer and some trauma. Yes. So we're using Sephora's Best Skin Ever concealer. I start with concealer before I go on to doing my foundation. And I do that because I just find it looks more natural to me if I start with concealer versus finishing with it. After I get all primed up, I go underneath the eye. I tend to think that if I put concealer on the top and the bottom of my lids, it will make it more even and make the color of the eyeshadow that I do later on easier to apply. What life was like before coming out. I let myself admit it to myself. I remember standing in the shower thinking, am I gay? And then thinking, no, you can't be gay because growing up your dad always said his son wasn't gay and that's not possible. And that sounds so silly to say now, but then it was my reality that, my dad had, I don't want to say forbade me for being gay, but my whole life there were little things that would happen that would tell me that it wasn't okay to be gay. Even if things weren't being said explicitly that I wasn't allowed to be gay, there was always something being said. For example, my parents had a friend named Junior who was gay. And my dad is always the kind of person who wanted to name his sons after him and have his sons name their sons after him. And so I'm a second here because of that friend that my dad had that was gay, who went by the name Junior. So a friend that my dad had went by the name Junior, and so I couldn't be called Junior because I might turn out gay. And so there was just a lot of things like that that would tell me in my life that I wasn't allowed to be gay. I just, anytime I would think, oh, maybe that guy looks good or something like that, I would say, oh, everybody must think that. Or something of that kind of nature, like, oh, it must happen for everybody because I can't be gay. So I had girlfriends growing up, like in high school. I was even married at one point when you were trying to have kids. Thankfully that didn't happen, but we were, trying to have kids. And I don't feel like that was a lie, even though I just told you that I kind of knew on some level that I was gay. Because somebody's asked me that before, if I feel like I was lying to I feel like I may have been lying to myself, but I wasn't being, it wasn't ever malicious. There was definitely never an intent to hurt anybody. But I came to the realization that I was gay finally by having a conversation with one of my friends at work. And I'd been on the apps trying to date again, the straight apps, and I had a guy who was trying to message me on the straight apps, and I told one of my friends at work, and she was like, well, I was like, there's this guy who keeps messaging me, and I don't know why. She was like, well, yeah, because you're gay. And I'm like, no, I'm not gay. She goes, gay by whatever. I'm like, no, I'm not into guys. And she goes, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I've thought about it before. I'm not into guys. And she was like, oh, well, sell. I'm like, what is it about me that makes people think this? Because I've gotten that all my life. And she was like, well, you just have this quality, like nothing like a Friends episode reference to really help you figure out your sexuality. And from there, turned into me thinking, if everybody thinks this, is there something to it? And then me just kind of accepting a date from another person. Just quick makeup thing real quick. I am taking this sponge and I'm going kind of back around the areas outside of where I just applied the contour, and I'm only doing that to kind of soften where I blended, because I'm not great at blending. So this is how I try and fix my terrible blending. Because like I said, if we lower our expectations, this will all come out much better. If we lower expectations, this will all come out much, much better. Because I am nowhere near professional. I just started doing this a few months ago. I'm going to do my eyes now, which is one of my favorite parts, and I'm not sure why. I think it's probably because I get to go a little wild here. Even during like the work week, I go a little wild. The one place that I do powder extra is my forehead. I do that because I do get these like big creases. I asked my husband, who's a former drag queen, for advice, and he told me to stop wrinkling my forehead. Thanks for the advice, honey. So I'm using this Anastasia Beverly Hills powder. I got it in banana. I've been using translucent, and I feel like I look like a ghost. So I'm trying the banana this time to see how I like it. And so far so good, but let's see how it works. So just doing a basic look with this Maybelline palette today. Getting ready to go out. Figured have a story about coming out, and now I'm gonna go out. Had that friend who talked to me about the apps. Finally met a guy. Went on a date. Date went well. Felt like something was right. Something finally clicked. And the rest was kind of history. I did keep lying to myself even after by saying that I was bisexual for a while. I'm wondering if that's kind of a normal thing to do. So even after I went out on a date with a guy, and had like my first boyfriend, I wonder, I kept calling myself bisexual, even though I still knew that I was not going to date a woman again. And I wonder if that's still something that happens because it's hard to kind of let go of. And I think bisexuality is obviously a real thing, and bisexual men and women exist, but for me, I don't think that's me. So I kind of wonder if that's was a defense mechanism, or if that's something that's common, is to kind of go that route. I felt like it was me clinging to the safer side of being part of the LGBT community. So I lay down a nice layer of black, and then I'm going to put a layer of silver over top of it. And so after I dated the guy for a few weeks, I had a couple of different experiences, and I never realized how different it was going to be. I started dating guys, and I thought it was going to be, the same. You're going to, date a guy, and you're going to assume, one of you is going to assume kind of the more masculine, one of you is going to assume the more feminine roles, and you can't really do that in same-sex dating. That's just not how it works, because, both of you are the same gender, and gender roles are super subjective. I feel like even in heterosexual relationship, I mean, my ex-wife was a backwoods truck driving woman, and I was, none of those things. It really depends on the relationship and what works. I'm going to take this brush and I'm just going to blend, because I am kind of going for a smoky eye moment. And I'm not even gonna reload the bottom or the brush that I had the black on. Finishing up some last minute powdering. And you know, ever since coming out, life has gotten better. It's different, but it's still also very much the same. I'm still the dad who loves to hang out with his kids and loves to read to them and play with them, and I love to bake and make dinner. But now I also like to listen to the music that I've always loved and watch the movies that I've always loved. And I don't have to hide from it anymore. My kids see me smiling a whole lot more and just being a whole lot happier. All right, finish up. Let's put some eyebrows on. Yeah, now I get to live my authentic self with somebody who authentically loves me, which is great and always a fantastic thing as well. You know, I found somebody who absolutely loves me and loves my kids, which you don't always get to see, and feel incredibly fortunate and grateful that I found my husband. For my boy beads, I don't do a lip liner, but I do a lipstick. It's more like a tinted lip gloss, or not even a gloss, it's like a matte lip finish. So lipstick, let's just call it what it is. But it's very, very, very light. So this one is called Shea Butter. And it looks super orange, but when it goes on, you can't even tell. I mean, I'm looking on the monitor and it seems like it's really orange, but you can't even tell anything's on. It just gives kind of a little bit of a shine. That way you can tell there's something there, but there's no actual color added. Looks just like a really natural finished look. And this is the look. So I'm just going to do some really quick touch-up finishes, and I will see you guys back soon. So here is the final look. The eyes are really subtle. This is a look I would wear to work or wear out. As you can see, I'm dressed to go out to a leather night. Some really fun pieces, and so yeah, that's my coming out story. What's yours? Subscribe and comment below and share your coming out story with me. I'd love to hear it. But until next time, stay blended, stay blessed.